For the record, for review in this case, may I have the names of our participants, please?
Carson Howard, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Ms. Saja Thomas, counsel for the department.
Christopher Farian for the department.
Michael McFarland, representing father.
Michael Brooks, I am a recently appointed attorney for Colton Sherwood.
Sir, please introduce yourself.
Charles Sherwood.
This family court hearing centered on one difficult question. When, if ever, is a parent ready to reunite with their children after a criminal conviction? Attorneys, child welfare professionals, and therapists presented updates on months of counseling, supervised visitation, and the children's progress. As the judge reviewed the evidence, the focus remained on one priority: making decisions that truly served the children's best interests. Welcome to the Judgment Room.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. So this is the second review. Had a brief meeting with the attorneys about a psychological evaluation that just came to us today. I've offered to them to allow them to continue to lodge any objections and review that and use any of that at the next hearing if they so choose, in light of the late production of the document. Anything else for the record on the sidebar, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Gentlemen?
No.
I would agree with that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Howitt, your report when you're ready.
Yeah, so I'll kind of separate the report Thomas and Heather from Colton just because they met with them separately. But I was able to meet with Heather, or the two youngest children, on January 3rd, 2025. Their mom was also present. They played with a variety of toys, and we talked about their favorite movie, Moana, which I recently watched because of them. They both reported that they want their dad to visit more, and same with their other brother, their older brother. I attended a family team meeting with the assigned in-home therapist, and she claims that visits are going very well, and I look forward to hearing a little bit more on that before I determine if it's in their best interest to continue with or to increase the amount of visits. I met with the oldest on December 23rd, 2024, and had multiple phone calls with him since then, and kind of been able to talk with him and build a relationship there. He's involved with multiple sports in middle school, whether it's football and basketball. He's a very active athlete. He reported that everything is going very well with his current caregiver, which is his grandpa, and he's enjoying his time there, but he does want to move back in with his siblings, his stepmom, and his dad. At this point, I do not think it's appropriate. Colton, or the older child, and his dad are still working through some issues in therapy, and Colton, or the oldest child's therapist, does not believe it's appropriate to move back at this time. There has been progress, but it's just not to a point where I believe the relationship is healthy enough to, move them back. I'd also like to note that Colton's kind of bounced around schools a little bit recently, the last couple of years, and I don't think it'd be appropriate to change his school again. I think he needs to finish out this school year, where he's doing well and his grades are good, but just waiting on him to kind of wait out the school year and make some progress with his dad in therapy before I believe it would be in his best interest to move back.
Thank you. Testimony today, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. I ask Mr. Farian to be sworn in.
Mr. Farian?
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Throughout the hearing, professionals described meaningful progress between the father and his younger children, while explaining that the father's recent guilty plea might affect future visitation and whether additional safeguards were still necessary before parenting time could be expanded.
Ms. Thomas?
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Farian, we're here on an adjournment, and so I believe that you've submitted for a hearing back in January a court report which included the case service plan, a November visitation report from Parkside, a December visitation report for Parkside, and then a counseling letter for the oldest child. Is that accurate to the best of your knowledge for that first report?
Yes.
Okay. And from my understanding today, you've also provided documents to the attorneys, myself electronically, and I believe now the court has them. Can you just briefly go over which documents you've just provided today?
Sure. So first of all, was the psychological evaluation that was done by Mr. Sherwood with Battle Creek and Associates back in November. I just received that last Friday. And it's been delayed. There were some inner things between the department and that organization, and that's what delayed us getting that. Also attached, I was finally able to get the IHT reports from Parkside Family Counseling, which Ms. Sherwood and the children, Thomas and Heather, have been participating in.
Your Honor, are we on YouTube?
Yes.
Could we not use names?
Sorry, I forgot that.
My apologies.
That's okay.
And also was the therapeutic visits between all three children, the two younger children, and also KS. And that was the most recent one that I received.
Your Honor, does the court have those documents that we've just reviewed?
Everything but the court report. I have the cover sheet and the attachments, but no court report. Do you have an extra copy, maybe?
I do not currently have the court report. It would have been submitted back in
January 3rd cover sheet, 3 therapeutic attachments, no court report. Do you guys have the court report?
I was under the impression that the court report was the case service plan and the attachments.
Okay, so you didn't get one either.
Your Honor, I did not get one either.
Oh, I wrote one.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I was like, I have it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, you want to send it around?
I can do that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks, Mr. McFarland, Mr. Howard, and myself.
Your Honor, would you like me to send this to Mr. Powell or?
You can just send it to me. I'll print it off here in the
Okay.
courtroom.
Just take me a second. Okay, just sent that over.
Got it. All right, does anybody else want a physical copy? Mr. Brooks, do you want a copy?
Yes, please. Although as the court is well aware, to me, this case is brand spanking new. So I'm not going to have any position to take today.
I could have one for my client, Your Honor.
Sure.
Is the court electronically sending us that report? Is that what I'm hearing?
You should have it already in your email
Sounds
from
like
Ms. Thomas.
Okay, I'll take a look right now, or just in my email.
I think I just accidentally printed 2 copies to Mr. Powell. Would you mind retrieving
Not
those?
at all. One for you and one for Mr. Sherwood.
One for Mr. Sherwood, one for Mr. Brooks.
Okay, the court report just arrived.
All right, same goes for any objections that need to be lodged as it relates to the report in the next report period to ensure you have some time to look this over. Gentlemen. All right, questions for your client, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Fearon, to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to the court report that was submitted back in January, or any of the documents that were included since then?
To my knowledge, no, other than a couple of things. First of all, we did have that family team meeting on February 7th to discuss KS possibly going back to the home of his former stepmother, Ms. Sherwood. In speaking to her, she decided that that was not in the best interest of her or the children, the other children at this time, just due to some concerns for KS's anger and behavior at times. Not that that wouldn't be something she would be entertained in the future, just not at this time. I also think that it should be noted that in the directive visits with the two younger children, HS and TS, there has been a lot of progress, and I think that both the therapists from Parkside agree that they could move forward from doing the directive visits and finish up the IHT, and then potentially have visits with their dad either unsupervised, obviously with some safety planning around it, but that would be acceptable.
I think one of the reasons we also adjourned from January 6th was there was an upcoming hearing as relates to the pending criminal charges. Do you have any updates on that?
Yes, thank you. I apologize, I forgot that. Yes, so actually it was originally scheduled for January 22nd. It didn't take place until I believe January 29th. Mr. Sherwood did plead to third-degree child abuse. His sentencing date is March 13th. I found out today that he did have his pre-sentencing report. So we do know that there will be several days of incarceration to finish up a 30-day term. And I'm not sure what probation will look like, if there will be a formal probation, and if that formal probation will have any requirements, any classes or anything of that nature. I don't know what that will be until after the 13th.
Okay. And as relates to the other elements of the case service plan, has Mr. Sherwood been compliant with what he's supposed to be doing?
He has attended his visits. You know, he did do the online classes himself early on. The only concern is the therapeutic visits with KS. Those have not taken place. We had extensive talk about that at the family team meeting. In speaking to Mr. Sherwood today, he would request that if he's going to do that, he would like a different counselor than Parkside.
Are there any other providers who provide therapeutic parenting time?
I will have to look into, I know that KS does see a counselor out of Jackson. I think it's Jackson Healing. There's a couple of them and they've got similar names, so hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I can explore to see if they have anybody there that would be willing to do that or have that. Other than that, I think the only other person I could look into is Brene Moore, aside from Parkside. So
And do you know if Ms. Moore is still contracting with the department to provide services?
She is not contracting with the department any longer. So it would have to, I mean, that doesn't mean that we can't pay, but that, we'd have to look at insurance and other things as well, so.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about Parkside and the clinicians that are being utilized in providing this therapeutic parenting time service?
I do not have any concerns.
And then can you just clarify the recommendation for parenting time for the younger children? I know that you've said there's maybe some agreement that it could expand to unsupervised parenting time, but can you just be very clear what you would expect parenting time moving forward from today on?
I think that once the intensive home-based therapy is completed successfully, which to this point has been very successful, I think that in talking to the therapists, there is not a huge risk or any, it's minimal risk that, and we don't have any indication that there has been any issues in the past that it would be appropriate for him to move on. The children do want to see their dad on a regular basis. I think that that's appropriate.
Do you recommend?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if you are recommending that parenting time can occur at the family home so long as the mother is present at this time?
I'm okay. There's a barrier to that because the youngest child in there that is not Mr. Sherwood's, there's a no contact order through friend of the court that he's not allowed to have contact. So I would assume that would take place, for example, at Mr. Sherwood's his father and stepmother's home. They do family dinners, those kind of things, but I'm not opposed to unsupervised with them either at this time.
And so you say you're not opposed to unsupervised?
Unsupervised, yes. I'm not opposed to that.
Okay. All right. And then I know that at the last hearing, or maybe even during this review period, there might have been some concerns about the oldest child with his current living arrangement and him wanting to go to the familial home. And since that's been ruled out, do you believe that he's still in the least restrictive environment to ensure his safety?
I do. And I also would like it known that I did explore when we had this family team meeting with his paternal grandparents, whether or not that was a possibility. And I think that everybody agreed that where he is the most appropriate place at this time.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor. I understand that the reports and the attachments that were received today will stay open for anyone to question them or cross-examine on them, but I just would like the court to receive them as part of the file for the time being.
No objection with that understanding.
That's fine.
No objection.
Thank you. They are received. Questions, Mr. Brooks?
No,
Mr. McFarland?
Well, as I hear my client's going to be getting some jail time as part of a sentence, what have you explored as far as services that can be done when he's in jail, as you've known that he is going to jail?
Well, I have not explored anything as I'm hoping to find out what the recommendations are going to be from the probation department. I think it's a minimal amount of time, I think 11 days at most. So I don't know that any services could be started while he was in there as well, but I can explore if that's what is requested.
Well, isn't that your job?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Did I hear you correctly that there's not, well, actually, my client's had some visits with his children in the presence of Therese Langston, correct?
Miss Langen of Parkside, yes.
Yes. Correct, Langston. Did I hear you correctly that he's not had therapeutic visits? Did you testify to that?
He has not participated in therapeutic visits because, as you and I have had this conversation, prior to him taking his plea deal, it would be incriminating to him to have therapeutic visits discussing any of the incident.
Okay, so these visits are not classified as therapeutic because he can't incriminate himself. He can't.
Correct, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. But now, when did he enter a plea?
He entered the plea on January 29th.
Okay. So since he entered the plea, there's nothing prohibiting that. So when has the therapeutic visit been scheduled then?
Well, we were to have one last week. However, due to the snow and ice, it got canceled. So tonight could essentially be that first therapeutic visit.
Okay. Okay. And if Colton's not there, if C is not there tonight,
Sorry.
Will arrangements be made for therapeutic visit at another time for him?
Absolutely.
Okay, with the minor child K, is there a possibility my client could have supervised telephonic or other type of communication with this child? Well, let me rephrase that. Is there anything prohibiting contact with K in the criminal case right now?
Not to my knowledge, no. All bond conditions were reduced to mirror, and I believe Judge Olsaver on the 29th had said that anything that's put forth in the probate court that would be the order that would be followed by the circuit court as well.
What's your opinion about my client having telephonic or any type of FaceTime in a setting with another adult overlooking, like his custodian?
You're referring to the grandfather that he's living with?
The K having.
Yes, okay. My concern is we are outside that therapeutic environment. And until that we've made contact and we've established that we're moving forward in that therapeutic environment, I would say that there shouldn't be any contact until we've demonstrated that we're moving forward.
How old is K?
14.
Is it your understanding that his request is that he does have contact with his father?
I am, yes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Howard, any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you touch a little bit more on the benefit that has taken place in the IHT, specifically focused around the two younger children?
Absolutely. So when it comes to it's been more with mom, Miss Sherwood, in that just helping with structure. The young HS, the daughter in this case, she has been placed on medication to help with some of her diagnosis. That has helped. Mom has learned different tools or strategies for out of control behaviors or just help slowing her down. The same thing with her other son as well, HS. TS. Same thing, just strategies, just helping structure the home a little bit better. And I think it's evident when I go for visits too, and home visits, where it was a lot of chaos, a lot of, things have calmed down. I can sit with each child individually and have a conversation rather than having a lot of different things going on.
So the benefit would be more with mom.
It is, but I think that she's been attempting to incorporate dad more into that. And when they would meet at the office on Wednesday nights for the other visits, they were kind of educating him on some of the other things that went on.
And when is the IHT scheduled to wrap up?
I believe I want to say the end of this month, beginning of next month.
And it's your opinion that unsupervised visits would be okay past that?
I do. And I'm also basing that not beyond the IHT as well, because Ms. Langen has also been, along with her staff, have done the directive visits, and there's been a lot of improvement. So, for example, one of the things when when Mr. Sherwood had first come in there, and one of the discussions was that he was a little too negative, right? That was in one of the reports that we had, maybe one initial, and how much he's improved on that, how he's been more engaged with them. So yeah, I don't know that we had acknowledged, even when this case was open, that there was a major issue between him and the other two children either.
Can you speak up just a bit?
Yeah, well,
You said not an issue between what?
it was not not a major issue between him and the younger two children.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nothing further. No.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
Not today, Your Honor.
Gentlemen, any other questions for this witness?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Witness testimony today, Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
No, you are.
Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas?
By the end of the hearing, the judge declined to accelerate reunification, despite recognizing the progress that had been made. Supervised visitation would continue, therapeutic services would remain in place, and the court emphasized that every future decision would depend on the children's emotional safety rather than the passage of time alone. One of the most significant themes throughout the hearing was that rebuilding trust within a family cannot be measured simply by completing classes or resolving criminal charges. While accountability is an important step, family courts often require consistent demonstrations of healthy parenting, emotional stability, and positive interactions before expanding a parent's role in a child's life. The testimony also illustrated how many different professionals contribute to these decisions. Therapists, child welfare workers, guardians ad litem, and attorneys each provided their own perspective, allowing the court to evaluate not only legal compliance, but also the emotional needs of the children. Their recommendations reflected an ongoing effort to balance reunification with protection. Another important takeaway is that reunification is rarely a single event. It is usually a gradual process that depends on measurable progress, continued participation in services, and the willingness of everyone involved to work toward healthier family relationships. Even when improvements are acknowledged, courts often proceed cautiously to avoid placing children back into situations before they are emotionally prepared. In the end, the judge's ruling reinforced that principle. While recognizing the father's efforts and encouraging continued participation in therapy, the court concluded that maintaining supervised visitation remains the safest course for now. The case will return for another review, where future progress, not promises, will determine whether additional parenting time becomes appropriate. Until then, the court's focus remains where it has been from the beginning, protecting the children's long-term well-being while giving the family an opportunity to continue rebuilding trust one step at a time.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think at this time we're still asking. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear the barking dogs or not, so I'm sorry if you can. Okay. At this time, Your Honor, we are asking the court just to continue jurisdiction. I know that there still needs to be some work done with the oldest child and dad to get that relationship repaired. And there might be some disagreement with the current service provider, but it is who we have. And I believe that that individual and that agency would be willing to continue to work with this family pending any further referrals. I will defer to the LGL to make comments on parenting time moving forward. But yeah, Mr. Farian's testimony, I think, is also pretty telling on the department's position there. And with that, we'll just ask for another 90-day review. Thank you.
Comments, Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor, I have none today.
Mr. McFarland?
Well, it appears as though since my client has entered a plea that therapeutic visits are going to begin very, very soon. So if that's the case, we would like the agency, given the ability to allow unsupervised parenting time, the therapist believes that everything's progressing appropriately as it appears as though it is. And when we come back, this will give us an opportunity to go over the psychological evaluation and my clients review the court report so we can also address those issues, Your Honor. And there may very well be some services that are available to my client in jail. I know that allowed to do Zoom now, jail and other things, so, I do know that the court is even, or the jail is even allowing Zoom visits, with people who are incarcerated, so he may have an ability to visit his children by Zoom, so we would like to have these, so we'd like to have these things explored. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm asking the court to, order the therapeutic visits with the older child. So, I think there's some issues that's still there. I think everybody in this room would agree on that. And I'm hopeful that the older child and his father can work through that in a therapeutic session, whether it be with their current therapist or a new therapist, whatever the department decides. I'm excited to see the progress made there. I do still have some reservations surrounding the youngest two children having unsupervised visitation at this point. I'm not satisfied with the contents of this report to see enough benefit or proof that that's appropriate at this time. I'm not saying that it won't happen in the short future, but I just would like more information from the in-home therapist and what kind of that would look like moving forward. For the youngest two and their dad, I think I met with the paternal grandparents on a family team meeting, and they seemed appropriate and maybe a possible supervisor for visitation moving forward. But at this point, I'd like to see that visitation stay supervised.
Okay. The court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's review hearing. I'm glad to hear that there have been reunification efforts being made, including the therapeutic visitation services that Mr. Sherwood's been in, and some resolution to the criminal proceedings, really some progress on that point to understand where that's going moving forward. Reunification efforts are satisfactory, as well as our guardian ad litem's efforts. You may not like the visitation supervisor, but she doesn't seem to mind you, Mr. Sherwood. She remarks in several places during these reviews that there is progress being made, and she recognizes your skill sets with your children as well. So I'm going to continue to include the therapeutic visitation in there. It's not going to hurt to have her suggestions there to supplement the interactions between you and your children. If you want to find somebody different, then find somebody different, but I'm not going to allow you to discontinue Ms. Langen's services until you find somebody else. All right. With regard to expanding into unsupervised parenting time, I'm going to respect Mr. Howitt's recommendation and his work in this case. He's participated in family team meetings. He's gotten to know the family members as best he's been able to do during that period of time. That is his obligation, and he is who we rely on for his recommendations. So at this time, we will follow that recommendation and continue to supervise parenting time, understanding that his recommendation to look at using family members is a good one as well, to expand parenting time for Mr. Sherwood. And in the event that it becomes appropriate to expand into unsupervised, I remain available in between hearings, if that becomes appropriate. So we'll set our next review. The children will remain in their placements that is necessary, appropriate, and is the least restrictive. They're placed with parents, with the exception of the oldest child, who will stay with grandfather. I am concerned with some of the remarks that I read in there about the dynamics between himself and his grandfather. And I'll trust Mr. Farian and Mr. Howard to continue to monitor that, please. I mean, obviously we trusted his remarks well enough as it relates to what happened criminally speaking. So obviously we need to continue to be vigilant and concerns about his continued experiences where he's at. Our next review will happen in May. I have Mondays or Tuesdays. Mr. Sherwood, are you working? Is there a time?
It really doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
All right, well then how about 1:30 on May 6th, Tuesday, May 6th.
Your Honor,
All right, yes, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I will not, oh wait, I'm totally kidding. I am available that day. I apologize.
Okay, because we've got two more than one.
I know, I was mistaking it for the 7th, which I'm out, so.
Thank you for letting me know. Okay,
Yeah, well,
May 30th.
I think we have to set this for a PPH, not that the goal of reunification will
Basic.
change given the circumstances, but it will also be a PPH in case that's necessary, Tuesday the 6th at 1:30.
Tuesday the 6th. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more courtroom cases.